This is Dennis McMahon, and welcome to Positively Vermont. And today we are once again going to visit with our friends from the Stowe Tango Music Festival, which is coming up from August the 19th through August the 21st in beautiful Stowe, Vermont. And my guests today are Hector del Curto, the artistic director and founder of the Stowe Tango Music Festival, and Jisoo Oak, who is the executive director and founder of this really outstanding festival. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you.
Same here. It's really good to see you again. And tell us a little bit about yourselves. I know that Hector is a Latin Grammy winner, and Jisoo is a very accomplished cellist. Just tell us each a little bit about your backgrounds in music and tango and in the festival.
Jisoo, you go first.
Okay. So I'm coming from the classical background. So I went to Juilliard some years ago. And I was interested in tango dance. It was like a hobby outside of music that I pursued. So I fell in love with music of Argentine tango. And then I tried to play the music of this beautiful culture. And I met Hector.
She met this beautiful person. Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's how I got to start more tango. Well, we are now married, so I play a lot of tango with him. Of course, I still play classical music. But yeah, it's been my joy to play tango music ever since. Yeah.
That's great. Tell us about yourself, Hector.
Well, I'm a bandoneon player. And for those of you who don't know the bandoneon, you should come to the festival and you will see the instrument. You will see many of them. The bandoneon is an instrument that was invented in Germany, and it was created to replace the organ. And so it didn't make it in Germany, and it went all the way to Argentina at the end of 1800. And my grandfather were bandoneon players, so that's where I got the tradition and the knowledge from this music and from this instrument. I studied in Argentina. I studied with great teachers, Nestor Marconi and Julio Pane, among others. But we also had them as guests in our festival. And I came to the US in 1995 with a show called Forever Tango. And I stayed in New York after a few years of being with the show on Broadway. And we started this festival in 2014. So this is the 8th year of our festival. So tango is part of my life, and I brought it with me from Argentina, and now we are in Stowe, Vermont.
That's great. Well, this is the premier tango festival in the United States, and I guess in North America. And how did you put this all together?
You want to go first?
Well, the idea was we wanted to put an orchestra together. But also from where I'm coming from, a lot of classical musicians want to play tango music, but there's just no place where we can find sheet music, people to play with. It took me like many emails to find tango musicians, trying to find all over the world. Of course, I live in New York, so I could find tango musicians, but there are other people all over the US that want to play tango music, and I wanted especially classical musicians, to be able to learn how to play it properly. So yeah, basically my idea was that we model it after Aspen Music Festival. So Aspen Music Festival has orchestras that put together mainly like 90% of the students, and then 10% is professionals, right? So that was like the idea behind it. So we didn't want to just teach them or coach them, but coach them and play with them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was the idea behind putting it together.
So Dennis, just let me fix this microphone that is coming on the way.
No
It looks
problem.
beautiful. Looks beautiful, but I don't want him be featured. What she was telling you about the Aspen Music Festival is from the classical side. Now,
Mhm.
from the tango side, I will tell you my story.
Mhm.
For me, it was very surprising, and I was honored that people in the classical world wanted to play the music from Argentina, mainly because a guy that one day transformed tango and brought it into the more classical side, who was Astor Piazzolla.
Mhm.
So most of the people that were in classical music started to play the music of Astor Piazzolla, and that's how they got to know tango. On the other side, there were the dancers that were dancing with the recordings from 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s, and that's pretty much about it. So for me, there was something missing. On one hand, the live music. On another hand, for the classical musicians, the style of the traditional tango, which was the foundation of the music of Astor Piazzolla. So that was the idea that we came about, because also an orchestra in Buenos Aires that was one of the greatest things that happened to tango, which is called the Orquesta Escuela de Tango Emilio Balcarce. So this orchestra works with a 2 years program. People from all over the world go to Buenos Aires and study with the maestros like Victor Lavallén, who was also our guest in the festival, and many other maestros that were in the old times playing tango. And they study side to side. They practice with them. They see how they play physically, musically, and so that was my idea. Let's bring the maestros to Stowe and let's start practicing with them, so we can get all the elements that are missing from the tradition of tango to the classical world.
Well, it's a very exciting program. We're going to go over it in a minute, but you're combining the musicians with people who want to learn from them, and also networking among the musicians for a lot of interesting techniques and I guess learning experiences. And it's a very organic kind of thing. I can really see how it's developed. And just as an aside, tell us a little bit about your Grammy Award experience. I know you won the Latin Grammy Award. Tell us about that.
Well, I had to correct you. It was not the Latin Grammy. It was the Grammy, actually.
Okay.
So we won the Grammy for the best Latin jazz album.
Right.
So in the Grammys, Latin jazz includes tango and jazz and Latin music. So we won that in 2018 with the trio of Pablo Ziegler, who was a pianist of Astor Piazzolla, and I had been playing with him since 1991. I was about 2 years old. Um, but so it was a great experience. We recorded that CD in Stowe. It was live, and we got the Grammy. So yeah, it was amazing.
That's great. Congratulations again. I know we had it in the studio, a replica in the studio several years
Mhm.
ago, and it's like it's great. It's really just fantastic, and it's a great recognition
Yeah,
of your talent and your efforts in just bringing this genre to the attention of the public. I really love it. I listen to tango pretty much every day.
mhm.
I'm familiar with the various artists, but um, what the public is going to see, tell us a little bit about it. It starts on August the 19th. Tell us, run us through the whole program during that time.
So August 19th, we have dance workshops for dancers and some milongas where dancers come and dance. It's a social event. But the main event of the festival is on Saturday, August 20th at 8 p.m. And that's at Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center. So we are back after not being able to be in Spruce Peak for 2 years due to the COVID. So this year we are very excited to be back on big stage. So yeah, the on that performance we're going to have the festival orchestra, 25 musicians, and we'll have two dancers, two couples. Can you tell more?
And also we'll have the guest artists that we are bringing from Argentina, which are Pablo Estigarribia as a pianist, and Pablo Agri, who is a great violin player, also the son of Antonio Agri, who was a violin player of Astor Piazzolla. And then we have Ignacio Warchowski, who is the founder of the Orquesta Escuela that I mentioned before. So we have a great team to have an amazing event at the Spruce Peak. And we have the dancers are Silvio and Fernanda and Guillermina and Mariano. So amazing dancers as well. They are from Forever Tango.
Yeah.
They we did something at Carnegie Hall quite a few years ago with Fernanda, which was called Tango Magic. So these are top of the top dancers in tango.
Tell us about the workshops that people will be able to attend.
Well, actually, that's for pass holders, and we actually sold out this year. Um, but dance workshops are taught by these master dancers, and there are actually some musicality workshops that one will be taught by Hector and one by Ignacio. So that's for dancers to learn more about music. And so basically our festival has another mission, which is to bring musicians and dancers closer, right?
Mhm.
So that means dancers has to understand music and musicians has to understand the needs of dancers, right? So that's why we hold musicality workshops for dancers. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that for people who don't know about tango or who know very little about tango, the way to go is to come to Spruce Peak on August 20th, and get to see how this is all put together. And imagine that this not only took 2 weeks of rehearsals and preparation, but took many years to people who will be performing. But to imagine themselves doing it, whether they are musicians or they are dancers, they can do it too. And there are many people that started dancing tango and in the US. And I know people from the 90s, 1996, 1997, that they started to dance. And I know people that started to dance the same year that we are going to do the festival. So there is something for everybody. And as a musician, this is the door to a new kind of experience in music, which the difference between tango and classical music is mainly that you have a lot of freedom as long as you know the foundation of the music. So the bandoneon competition is an idea that we had. You have to think that there's not a big tradition in bandoneon playing in the US. So we wanted to, you have string players that of course come from the classical world and they are amazing players. So we had somehow an unbalanced level of bandoneon players and string players and piano players. So the Chip Bandoneon competition was a way to bring that level up. So we have been doing this for quite a few years now. And we started to, the bandoneon players that participate of the competition come from all over the world. And if you think about Japan, there are many bandoneon players and great bandoneon players. You think about Europe, there are many bandoneon players that are also great. So we wanted to bring them to US. So the level of bandoneon playing in the US will start rising.
Yeah.
And mission accomplished. Quite a few years after, we have great bandoneon players in the US as well. So this year we have 4 finalists, and that's going to be, the final will be on Friday 19th.
Yeah, Friday night.
So we will have the first prize will be performing at Spruce Peak on Saturday.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting. And how many people do you anticipate attending the festival throughout the several days?
Well, Spruce Peak beats about 400 people. So yeah, that'll be around that number. We also will have 80 pass holders. So those are the dancers who are attending.
Which everybody can become one next year.
Yeah. So yeah, Spruce Peak will be the main event that a lot of people can come.
So I know the pass holders has been sold out, but there are still tickets available for Spruce Peak.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely at sprucepeakarts.org
And you have
or
a,
on our website.
your website is www.stowtango.festival.com, right?
It's
So
www.stowetango.org.
Oh, .org. Excellent. So we'll
Together.
publish it right there with the video. And now about the interest in tango since the festival started. Can you explain how the Stowe Tango Music Festival has contributed over the course of years? You've been doing this now, I think it's the 8th festival. Just give us a little progress report and how you feel as musicians and organizers, how it's been going, despite all the issues with the CV-19 and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So what we saw past few years is that musicians meet in Stowe, so they connect, and they're from different parts of the world. But for example, a musician who's born in US goes to Japan and plays with the musicians from Japan in Japan, and they met in Stowe.
Yeah, so there are many groups. We also have a part of the program is the chamber groups. So the students, quote unquote, because they are accomplished musicians already, they form chamber groups, and those chamber groups, they enjoy it very much, so much that they start traveling together
Yeah,
and performing in different countries.
yeah.
So
Or invite them from different parts of the world so they can play together.
So there's a lot of
So
networking that goes on, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you this. So in terms of dancing, tango has been spreading all over the US and all over the world. But in the US, every corner that you go in the US, you will have a place to dance tango. But that was not the same with the musicians. And Stowe Tango Music Festival is the most important festival in terms of bringing that up and creating new musicians and giving them the opportunity to know the music from the masters, from the people that performed for so many years in Argentina. We had the famous pianists from different orchestras in the 50s and in the 60s, and bandoneon players, and it's really a unique experience for the musicians.
That's great. Well, let me ask you a little bit about some of the social aspects here. You're going to have several milongas, which is social dancing. Tell us what's going to happen there. Give us some of your experiences about that.
So after the performance at Spruce Peak, there will be a milonga on stage. So what happens is what?
I just wanted to let them know what the milonga is, because most of the people don't know what the milonga is.
Go ahead.
So what you're going to see on stage is it's professional dancers dancing, and sometimes, not always, because tango is mainly a way of walking, as we say. But there will be some acrobatics and some things that you will think, oh, I will never be able to do that. And you might be right, you might be wrong, but there is the social aspect of tango, which is that people who don't have those abilities of doing jumps and things in the air can do. So you dance on the floor is a way of walking. There are certain rules that you have to learn, and there are some basic steps that you have to learn to start dancing. From that, you can go all the way to create your own style. But there are many people all over the world. There are these places called milongas where people gather to dance socially. So the pieces are 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes, and you dance for tandas of 3 pieces or 4 pieces, and then you switch parts. So you're not stuck with anybody, but if you like how you dance with your partner, you can dance the whole night.
That's great. And who will be playing as the orchestra or providing the music for that?
How is it? I'm sorry.
Who will be playing at the Milongas? Will it be the?
Oh,
The
um,
orchestra.
the orchestra will be playing. We will have some of the chamber groups performing, and also you have recordings at some point. So it's a little bit of everything.
That's great. Now tell us a little bit about the Argentine Tango Society. That's the sponsor, I suppose, and tell us about that group and what it does during the year.
Well, the Argentine Tango Society is an organization that the main purpose is to preserve tango music and the tradition of tango. And in that sense, the Argentine Tango Society functions with Argentina and US. And we, throughout the year, we do documentaries. There are milongas, these places for people to dance. There are many cultural events that the Argentine Tango Society organizes, and also we have all these maestros that we bring here. Many of them already have their own documentary, which includes all the history of tango, the orchestras that they play with, and they're really great documentaries made by a crew in Argentina. And also we have the events throughout the years. Sometimes there are milongas in Stowe. And so we started to do an exchange between Argentina and the US as well. So there is a lot of work involved in preserving the music, which for me, preserving music is keeping it alive.
Mhm.
It's not just a museum piece. So you have to keep it alive and moving.
And you have videos or CDs of past festivals available, correct? And are you going to make one about this festival as well, so people
Um,
contact you can
well,
get the music?
yeah. So we record every year. We do a recording of the concerts that we do, and then we came up with the CD in 2016 that is called the Stowe Tango Music Fest live at the Stowe Tango Music Festival, and eventually we will do another one where we have the guest artists from Argentina and the orchestra, and my group is a faculty that is always in the festival as a quintet, and that quintet includes also Grammy winners like Gustavo Casenave, Pedro Giraudo, Sammy Mardinian, and yes, we put together those CDs, and in the 2016 we have my son, our son, Santiago del Curto, performing with us, and Santiago is right now with the National Youth Orchestra that they performed at Carnegie Hall yesterday, and so he's classically trained, but he plays tango and he also plays jazz.
That's
So
great.
he will be performing also at Spruce Peak this year.
Excellent. I just want to thank you for all you do with this wonderful genre, and also it's a major honor for the state to host this and see you every year. And just maybe if you give us a parting message, I want to just reiterate that the Stowe Tango Music Festival is being held in Stowe, Vermont from August 19th through August 21st. And the website, which we are going to publish, has all the information on it, and contacts for the festival organizers, and also ways that people can get tickets and also participate if they can. So maybe you could just give us some parting thoughts for our viewers.
Well, I will say that if you haven't seen tango before, here's an opportunity. It happens every year on the third week of August, but you don't need to wait another year. You can come on August 20th to Spruce Peak. And also that we are very, very happy to be able to have this festival in Stowe, Vermont. Musicians love it, and dancers love it, and we love it. So we have an environment where music is all we concentrate in, but with an amazing view of Stowe. And so I hope people will think about it a little bit, that there are not many places that you can go and see and hear great music from a culture that comes all the way down from South America, but that people all over the world are embracing. So August 20th at 8 p.m. at Spruce Peak is your opportunity.
That's great. Gisu, you want to give us a final message here?
I just want to thank you for inviting us every year. It's wonderful to talk to you and see you.
That's great. Well, this really,
And we hope that you will come to the festival.
I am planning, and I have some other ideas that I want to talk to you about too.
Great.
About that, because I really love tango, and I love you guys, and I love the music, and it's just so exciting. I should also mention that there are a number of local sponsors and people who help in the area, businesses, and they're listed on the website. And I notice you have some good support from all the surrounding Vermont companies and the people associated with the area, and with music as well. So just check out that website, and there are also some lovely clips from the performances on there as well. Well, thank you both very much, and
Thank
give my
you.
regards to Santiago. And this has been Dennis McMahon for Positively Vermont, discussing the Stowe Tango Music Festival. My guests have been Grammy winner Hector del Curto and Jisoo Oak, the festival executives and organizers and musicians associated with this Stowe Tango Music Festival. Thank you for watching.